Yes, we're back. How you doing? It's Eduardo Jackson, your boy, CEO, founder, creator of the Cinema Draft Game, where daily fantasy sports meets the movies. It is my pleasure, it is my privilege to welcome the return of our foreign correspondent, fresh from an educational trip to Italy, the CEO of Cali Now. It's Kiahnna Patton.
Woo woo!
Yes. And we'll ask you about your trip in just 1 second. But before we start, the drinking game tonight will be the word foreign because we are taking this show on the road. So, yes, real quick, how was your trip to Italy? Do tell.
Italy was beautiful. I cannot wait to go back. The kids had a wonderful time. We started out in Venice, then we took a train to Florence and to Rome. We hit all the hot spots, got on a gondola ride, went through the Colosseum, threw coins in the Trevi Fountain, walked down the Spanish Steps. It was really nice.
So, if you had to pluck one moment, what was your single best moment or quick anecdote from your trip to Italy? I mean, for some of us, those of us who wish to be citizens of the world but haven't been anywhere.
I think the most amazing part of the trip for me was being at the Colosseum, just seeing the enormity of it and realizing.
Are you not entertained?
Right, and that was my next thing, realizing the things that happened there, and people died there, and people were cheering there, and there's a lot of history in that one ginormous site. It was amazing.
Well, I can't wait to check out your Instagram. Was it More Sweet Than Bitter? On Instagram, I'm gonna go check it out because I have to live vicariously through you because I'm stuck back here, 3 monitors in a dream, slaving away, trying to make this the best game possible.
I have a highlight. Guess who I saw?
Dr. Coco! You saw our girl, Alicia.
Yes, she came and talked to the kids about all of her international travel and all the languages she's learned, and studying abroad. It was a really good conversation with the kids.
Yes, and for those, like everyone basically who does not know us personally, Coco, aka Kalisha Banks, is a good friend. That's actually how we met. We met through her. That is your soror? Yes, there you go. Yeah, so that great to hear. I'm looking forward to prowling your Instagram and actually I think I reached out to her through LinkedIn. I think I'll send her an email to say what's up. It's been years since I've seen her because she was that girl who she always loved to travel, always loved different countries and stuff. She'd actually be perfect for a pod like this where we're talking about the top foreign films. But she's the type of girl who for spring break her freshman year at UCLA went to Vietnam by herself. Like, who does that? Kalisha does. Coco does. That. Exactly. So, all right. Well, good. Well, so let's jump to one of my favorite segments. It's what I'm watching. That's right. What I'm watching. And first show I'm watching it's on Netflix. It's only a half-hour show. There's only 8 of them. I don't know if they had as much confidence that this would work, but it really does work. It's a show called Atypical. It's executive produced by my former high school, not quite classmate. I guess I was a senior and he was a junior, but we were in plays together and stuff. Seth Gordon, he's back at it again. Director of Baywatch and what's the other one? Identity Theft and executive producer of The Goldbergs. I mean, and the guy's got a kid, but he stays busy. He stays in them streets. And yeah, he executive produced, I think he directed a couple episodes of Atypical, really good dramedy about a kid, 18-year-old kid who's, as they say, on the spectrum. He's got some form of high functioning autism, and it's just a really good fun. It's not like it doesn't do too much with it as far as it's not like, oh, this guy's getting bullied all the time or oh, we should feel sorry for him. It's not like that at all. It's very, I feel, although I don't really know that many people on the spectrum, but it feels like a very grounded, realistic take on a family that has someone on the spectrum, and everyone else in the family's got their own little messes involved, and it's just a really, really fun show. It just came out last weekend. Any interest in there, Kiahnna?
Yes, I watched it, and
All
I
8?
enjoyed it, although the mother was quite annoying, and I kept trying to think about it from the perspective of um, a real life parent who would be dealing with these things and who would want to be very protective of their child. And I kept trying to put myself into her shoes, but she still annoyed me.
Still sucked, yeah. Still kind of sucked. Right,
She
exactly.
still
She
annoyed
makes some
me.
poor choices.
It was like she was doing so much to try to protect her son, but that she was stifling his growth and smothering him, and it was just going too far with it. And then all of her other little personal issues with
Shenanigans.
infidelity.
Yeah. No, but it really was kind of cool. At least the way they set it up is that, like, what does happen when you devote so much of, like, I mean, you basically raise a child who has, who is special in some sort of way. You devote like all your love and energy and kind of trying to protect them, that when they do kind of grow into their own, because he's an 18-year-old kid, he's got a job, he's got friends. Oh my God, Zahid, the dude who played
That guy is
Zahid.
so hilarious. I love him as his friend.
Nick Bonatti or Badati or something. He was hysterical. Zahid was crazy. He's basically like what if Will Ferrell, like the Will Ferrell type, was basically like a young adult and Indian, like East Indian.
Right.
That
Like
basically
this,
got
like
Zahid.
this fearless but compassionate dude who's just
Irrational confidence, totally
yes.
inappropriate, but somehow always gets the girl. He was great. Actually, the actor liked it. I think he might have retweeted a couple of my tweets because I just thought Zahid was just great. He was
Yes.
hilarious. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I think it's a really good, realistic take, dramedy. Well done, Seth. If you're listening to this, which you probably are not, well done. Also, way to extract, a really really good performance at Michael Rappaport. Like, he's not a bad actor per se, but he seems to be a little too much all the time. He was pitch perfect in this role as kind of like the semi clueless dad, but who is protective in his own ways, but yet also kind of not would say like he's like the cool dad, because he's not, especially when it comes to the daughter, but he's just very relatable, and that whole family really felt relatable. So kudos, well done, Atypical.
Yeah.
As he, bliss.
Yes.
The other one, and let's give that one an air horn. That was great. Not so much of an air horn. Nope. Is Iron Fist. Nice, if you're listening. I struggle to watch that. Oh, it's so bad. So bad. I struggle to watch it just to get to the end to prepare for the Defenders Thursday night. You know what? I'm gonna toss this one over to you. Go ahead, knock it out of the park.
Oh God, I just really couldn't stand it. I watched it a while ago. It was.
Did you finish?
Like the action, I did. It took me a minute, but I finished it. The action scenes were so slow. The storyline, I mean, it had potential. It just flopped for me. Like I couldn't contain. I just couldn't maintain my interest in it. I was like, what?
And yet you struggle to watch through, and more power to you, because I had to push myself over the line. The last 2.5 remaining episodes, I did it. It was a struggle. It was kind of important at least for me to see kind of like how they're setting up, the Defenders, whatever. Plot wise, I mean, I won't say it's worth it, but it definitely helps kind of knowing what they're heading into. But it is bad. It's not good.
Yeah,
it's not good. It's not good.
And I love comic book based movies. I will watch everything. I so struggled through that. It was terrible.
Definitely just struggle to watch. Damn, they're showing booty. All right, and then finally, Turn, Washington Spies, and also Orphan Black. They both had their series finales on Saturday. And I mean, I enjoyed those shows for different reasons. Everyone knows, at least by now, if you've been watching this podcast, I'm a sucker for historical fiction. I'm there for it. Turn actually really was, I mean, first of all, had a terrible name, but is based on, real life, events. Like the Culper ring actually existed. And just kind of seeing what they did with that, inside that was really, really cool and interesting. And the way they ended it, it was pretty satisfying. It was fairly satisfying. Everyone didn't get what they wanted, like, the the freed servants got turned back and had to be from Canada, had to be sent back into most likely servitude in the United States, even though like her man and her child were able to be free in Canada. And everyone didn't get where they want. The guy didn't end up with his real true love. Kind of had to settle for his wife. I mean, you don't get everything you want, but it was cool. It was cool. I enjoyed it. Orphan Black, to me, after a really good run, I felt ended on a kind of, passe note. But those are my reviews of the series finales. Do you watch either of those two shows, Kiahnna?
I have not watched Orphan Black, but I have just recently finished the first season of Turn.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I haven't been able to give that my full attention.
The first season is kind of slow. Second season, it gets a little better. I feel like it really found its stride in the third season, which nobody watched, and the fourth season was lit. It was pretty lit. Yeah.
So I'm trying to give it a chance. I haven't started on the second season yet, but wait, I think they killed the guy did they kill him?
Simcoe?
I can't remember his name, but the one that was really just off the chain with his behavior and
Simcoe.
Violent. They killed him, right? Did they kill him? I'm trying to remember.
I can't remember either.
Last episode. Last I remember, he was gagged, but I don't remember if he died or not. But he needed to.
Yeah, he needed
one horrible man.
Yeah, I give kudos to AMC. I mean, they never had a hit on their hands. First of all, it was terribly named. No, the first two seasons, I think they called it Turn, before they figured out, okay, we need to put a colon and explain what the hell Turn means. It's Washington Spies, because otherwise people didn't know what the hell that show was about. And it never quite recovered from that. But I appreciate the fact that it was 4 seasons to cover the bulk of that whole episode in American history. And like I said, I enjoyed it. It's it's historical fiction. I'm there for it. So, and they did a pretty good job. Kind of reminds me a little bit of how Black Sails flew under the radar, but I think in the final couple seasons, Black Sails got a little more critical acclaim than Turn ever got. Ain't nobody was checking for Turn, and it died a very peaceful, quiet death. I'm not sure if you listened to that one podcast, but I think a couple podcasts ago I tweeted out how there's nothing lonelier in the social media age than watching a show that nobody else is watching. That's exactly what Turn was.
Like, nobody's commenting on this.
I mean, a few of the Turn people, I don't know, turncoats, we were so small we didn't have a real name, right? Some of the turncoats would ever reached out to me like, hey, we're watching, but everyone who reached out was exactly every single person who was watching. So GG Turn, GG Orphan Black. You guys had a nice, glorious run. All right. And so KP. There we go. What 3 things are you watching?
Well, I started watching Somewhere Between with Paula Patton.
Is that a show or a
It's
movie?
a show. Yeah. So I think the 5th episode comes on tonight, but it's about
what channel is that on?
Oh, I don't know. Don't ask me those kinds of questions.
Interesting. It's somewhere. Wow.
I just stream them later. I don't know what channel it's on.
Okay, no, keep talking about that. Let's look this up.
So it's about this woman who continually goes back in time to try to save her daughter from this killer.
Time travel. I love time travel.
Yes. And there's a guy who somehow gets trapped in this warp of time travel with her. And so they're both constantly going back, trying to change history to save the daughter. And so far, they haven't been able to save her yet. They keep thinking, well, if we save this person, or if we catch this guy, or if we kill the guy, that we'll be able to save the daughter. But none of that has worked so far.
Oh, so this is an ABC show. It's one of those summer shows. I get. No wonder I haven't heard about this, because when summer comes, I mean, I totally almost forget network TV exists. So, I see.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's okay so far. I'm interested to see where they're going to go with this, because it's kind of like some other shows where people try to go back and change time, and like the butterfly effect kind of thing. And
Timeless. Love Timeless. It's coming back.
I love Time. It is?
Yes.
Good. I thought it wasn't.
It wasn't until they made like this whole, I don't know what you call it. They made this whole the second they announced that Timeless is getting canceled, like, Twitter just like broke down, melted down, and then like a week later, they're like, all right, our bad. We're just kidding. We're bringing it back. And all the stars and the producer were like, yes, Twitter, social media, y'all saved our show. Thank you.
So the other thing that I'm watching, which they canceled, was Doubt. I actually like that show. So it's a
I watched that pilot and I was out. Ooh, that was bad.
Like it? I liked it because they tackle a lot of different issues.
They only lasted 2 episodes. Are they just burning them off now in the summer? Or
yeah, just on Saturdays. They were just releasing them on Saturdays. But I like the show because
that's your turn. Go ahead. That's your turn. I'm with you. That's your turn.
This is my turn. So this is the first time I remember seeing no, but there's a love story with transgender woman and a straight guy, and of course there's also a racial difference there too. There's this whole plot around trying to save this high-powered attorney's mother who is in jail, trying to get her out, and you find out that she's got cancer and she could have been freed a while ago if only her attorney had said something about her having cancer. It's just, there are a lot of different things going on in the show, and I liked it.
Oh, there are a lot of different
things. When
it
got canceled.
I guess I was out at the end of that pilot when we find out that she's sleeping with her client. I'm like, oh, come on, how many times can we do this?
Yes, oh my God. And so this is like one of
First of all, they telegraphed that, and I'm like, please don't go there, please don't go there. They went.
But they didn't telegraph the end of it though. So how it all ends was not telegraphed. It was, he's being accused of murder that happened 26 years ago, and turns out he actually did it. But wait, the whole twist was that he had gotten this, I think it was a liver transplant or something like that, which changed his blood. So the reason that, he was raising his hand to give a blood sample was because he knew his blood wasn't going to match anymore, because it wasn't going to match his teenage blood because he had this transplant. It was crazy. I liked it.
It was something.
I think you should have given it a chance. I liked it.
Okay. All right. So that's your turn. That's the hill you're going to die on. And do you have a third one?
The third one, yes.
You get no air horn for Doubt. You get no air horn. Go ahead.
Oh, whatever. So I love Black and Sexy TV. And right now...
our girl, Kalila Joy.
Yeah,
you know Kalila? Because she's been a guest a few times on the podcast. Her and her roommate Alexia. Yeah, she's on Black and Sexy TV, I believe. Yeah,
I saw her. Well, she was going
definite air horn.
Gym when I used to go to in Glendale.
Oh, okay, so you know her. Okay, cool.
I don't know her. I know who she is, but I don't know her. But when I saw her, I was like, oh, I recognize her. But you know how we are in LA. We don't talk to anybody.
That's true. We don't get starstruck at all. Especially,
so used to seeing people that,
Yeah, we don't fan nobody.
Hi, Kalila. I love the show.
AJ, yes. Got a shout out. I'll have to tell her roommate Lex. Yes, you got a shout out on the pod.
Right now, the show that's on is Chef Julian. I want to say this is season 3. And it just started maybe last weekend before. But I love all their shows because, they set them because it's about people like us. Not everybody is dirt poor, and not everybody, not everybody has the same issues going on in their lives. And they show just people who are relatable to me, people who have gone to college, people who are living in Leimert Park, people who are just, for me, like my friends.
Young Black professionals, yeah. Absolutely.
Right. And so
that reminds me of another show, just real quick, honorable mention that I'm watching. I mean, it's creating a lot of buzz out there, especially on Sunday nights and Twitter, is, of course, Insecure. I mean, if you live in LA, especially if you're Black, you're watching Insecure. I mean, it's just what it is. And it's funny because you see all the spots. You see, I mean, the whole Kiss and Grind episode this past weekend stuff. Yeah. What I thought was a valid if not funny, and if not somewhat unfair criticism of the show Insecure is from Bomani Jones, sportscaster. He has his own podcast, what have you. And he was like, and he basically doesn't, vibe with Insecure. Well, he doesn't live in LA. Number one, he's a black dude, smart black dude, somewhat controversial for among some people who don't come from his circles. But his whole thing was that he's never seen so much hype around a show that's just so ordinary. And he's kind of got a point, because what Issa's going through is like normal stuff, but going back into what you said, it's kind of cool to see, our lives being represented in a very truthful, straightforward way. And not everything has to be, loot train dragon, explosions and stuff. Not everything has to be, like heavy stakes like Game of Thrones. Sometimes you just want to kick back and see your life represented in a certain way.
Right. So, it's cool to see somebody who's just a marketing rep. Somebody who is somebody who started their own catering business. Those are my friends. Like, I want to see that on TV.
So don't let anyone tell you that media doesn't matter, that images and representation doesn't matter, because it does. Sometimes you want to see, stuff in situations of people that look like you. That's why people are really nuts over Insecure. That's why After Thrones, it's probably like the highest trending show on Sunday nights right now, because the show is lit like that. And those situations are crazy. And Lawrence, you know what? Until you got played, live your best life.
Not even. So this is part of the other criticism, is that ain't nobody using protection.
I saw that. And actually, she responded to that. Someone created or Twitter created a moment, those collection of different tweets into a moment about how people are calling her out for the not obvious use of protection on the show. But when she and Lawrence got down, that definitely was not a protection situation. But allegedly, with as this one brother tweeted out, with the triangle offense this past weekend.
Oh, that's what we're calling it now.
I didn't have the nerve to retweet it, because he had a still from the actual triangle, but I did like that sucker, because that was very slick. From the triangle offense, allegedly, if you zoom in on the nightstand, you can see an open condom wrapper. But she's but I get it. Issa Rae, owned up to. She's like, I get it. We'll do better, next season.
Good. Yeah. Good.
Yes. I know, it's funny you mentioned that, because I was thinking that too. I had no idea it was such a thing that people were actually tweeting and adding her about it. But for a show that takes the details, the nuances of life, young, black, single, professional, semi-professional life so seriously, it is a pretty big thing to kind of so if not overlook and not if at least not play up, because they're both entering their hoe phase. They're both hoeing out, and so it's important to stay protected.
Right.
Wrap it up. All right. So yes. Okay, excellent. All right, well, we're off to a great start. We're talking safe sex. We're talking black and safe. We're talking Insecure. But the real show tonight are foreign films, your top 5 foreign films. And y'all know the rules, but for those who are new to the podcast, let me break it down for you. So basically, you name a foreign film, we alternate picks. Once someone picks that film is out of play. And since you are my guest and the lady, I shall let you go first. Kiahnna, Patton, KP, what's your first foreign film?
All right. So first, I thought we were doing 3 instead.
Well, let's see how far we get. I believe in you. I got faith in you.
I'm glad you do. Thank you. So the first one is The Hunt. So this is a movie, and I feel horrible. I don't know how to pronounce this man's last name, but Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen, yes, a Danish actor, Danish star. Yeah. He was most notably, we saw him in I think was it Skyfall? No, not Skyfall. The first Daniel Craig James Bond movie. He was the main villain.
Great actor. This drama will leave you just heartbroken. It's about this man he's a teacher at an elementary school or a preschool. And this little girl who really liked him and he liked her accused him of sexually abusing her. And he did not. Dark. And the whole town turned against him violently. And he was just trying to, protect himself. He's, you know, I believe he was going through a divorce and trying to get custody of his son, and all of this stuff just so horribly impacted his life. And the little girl, you know, it's kind of like those scenes in movies where you see, you know, the police officers or the psychologist suggesting things to the child and they just say yes. And, you know, the man did nothing inappropriate with this little girl. In fact, she tried to kiss him and got upset when he said no. And she was only 4 or 5 years old, something really young. And it just destroyed his whole life.
Oh,
and
wow.
it was a great movie, but it absolutely makes you cautious about how you deal with other people's children.
Yeah, do not get caught up. Mads Mikkelsen.
Right.
Yeah, so was this subtitled?
Yes.
Excellent. Well done. Truly a foreign film.
It
All
was
right,
great.
so that's off the board. I wouldn't have picked it anyways. Excellent. Nice. Yeah, you're always good at finding like those hidden gems in these discussions we have. So well done. I'm gonna be totally obvious. I'm going with The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Got to get that off the board, and not the remake either, like the original one. And actually, and I'm gonna go with the first one because they had three. The original, like I think, Swedish films. I'm going with the original, with the first one, because I did see all three in a fairly short period of time. They all kind of blended together for me, so I'm just gonna go with the original because it was like that. And yeah, and it's really good. It's dark, it's psychological, it's sexual, it's crazy. I mean, that whole Lisbeth Salander chick. I mean, she's like damaged, but like a hacker and working with this, like, I guess he's like a psychiatrist, some sort or whatever. No, journalist. That's right. He's a journalist trying to investigate these murders and stuff. And she goes on the run, and she's just and I like the way they end that first movie where she's like in the south of France or somewhere, and she's just, you know, kind of like eyeing like the next target. It's just really cool. I really enjoyed it. All three of them actually, and I mean, and I actually think the second one might have been even better than the first. But the only one I can kind of remember the most is the first one. So, and that's where you should really start off if you're going to watch these. In the original, I guess, I think it's Swedish, right? Yeah, I think it's Swedish. Definitely check it out. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. They tried to revamp, they tried to redo or reboot it for American audiences with Rooney Mara and David Fincher. You know, he does dark pretty well, but it's kind of flopped. I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't, you know, the original. You know,
yeah, that's the version I watched.
Yeah. Oh, good. So you saw it, and good. I took it off the board. All right, great. So that's my first one. What's your second one?
My second one is The Great Beauty. So
okay, you are. I've not heard of this one. Do tell.
This is in honor of our recent trip to Rome.
Oh, okay.
But this is about this older man. He's a socialite, a writer who had one hit book and never really wrote much again, other than, you know, articles here and there. Very intellectual type guy. He's in Rome, and
look at him. Look at his swag.
Yeah. He's in Rome. He's trying to relive his youth. 65 years old, uses Botox, loves to argue with people.
Look at him. He is living his best life. Look at this dude.
He is partying with people half his age at all these lavish affairs.
Hashtag
very beautiful scenery, lots of shots of modern day Rome. But it's really just this, you know, about this man who has lived this unfulfilled life, and he's trying to find himself in his later stages of life.
Hashtag it's never too late.
Yes. And you know how I love the older people.
Yeah. You know, I take it back. This does play exactly into your personality. Absolutely. Now, this is kind of interesting because, first of all, I mean, you know, what the hell?
There was a lot of male nudity, so you know you don't like.
You know what? It's European. You know, it's European. Ciao, Bella. Yeah. So no, this is very cool. I mean, I'm curious. I'm I'm very intrigued. I mean, he's dressing really well. Paolo Sorrentino. He started getting a reputation stateside as being like a really visionary director. He's the guy. Paolo Sorrentino is the guy, I believe, behind the Young Pope. Young Pope.
I tried to watch that. I couldn't get through it.
Kiahnna,
Yeah.
KP. Okay, all right. We'll have to talk after the show or something about that. The young Pope is pretty lit. Yeah, look at yeah. I like this. I like this dude. This looks kind of interesting. I'll have to check it out. Might have to add that to my Netflix queue. Well done. You're educating the people today. Most notably me, educating the people today. Um, yeah. Okay. So another obvious one I'm gonna take off the board for my second pick is Amelie, because everyone loves Amelie.
I've not seen that.
Real. Oh, I mean, first of all, look at that face. That face tells it all. She'll change your life. She's kind of like impish, and well, first of all, this is the movie that made Audrey Tautou a star. I think she was nominated for an Oscar for this. The movie overall was nominated for an Oscar. She was kind of a thing for about maybe 3 or 4 years in the States, and then she's kind of went back into French obscurity. But she's just such and I mean, her face is just so expressive and delightful, and she's just got this really free spirit. It really is like really kind of believes in love. I mean, look at those eyes, and I mean, people are compared to like a young Hepburn. I don't know about that. I was around for Hepburn, but she really does have like this kind of open impish quality that really just infected the film. It was great. Young French woman, looking for love and all good stuff, and then that's like her muse, her guy, and it's just, I mean, it's adorable, it's darling. Amelie, French, yeah,
All right.
yeah, good stuff.
I'll have to add that to the list.
Yeah. Okay, so far we are 4 for 4 with no one seeing anyone's other movies.
I know.
So but keep it up. I'm learning a lot. What else you got? What's your third one?
So my third one, I really love this movie too. It's called The Lunchbox. Huh. So this is a romantic film set in India, and it's in Mumbai.
Irfan Khan, I like him. Yeah,
it's such a great movie. So he is this widower. So let me just back up. So they have this very complex and efficient system of delivering lunches from wives to their husbands at work. So they've got these guys who go to the house and to the homes and pick up the lunches. They may have bicycles, taking all kinds of public transportation to get these lunches to the husband. So this young woman prepares a lunch for her husband, and it accidentally gets delivered to this widower.
Oh, and I saw a trailer. I saw this trailer somewhere. Okay.
It's good. It's really good. She realizes the mistake and starts and writes a note to him, and he responds, and they start this kind of love affair through notes. And she finds out that her husband has been cheating on her and decides to leave the husband. She's developed this relationship with, this widower. And so she tells him that she is leaving town, and, he is ready to meet her, and he leaves work one day on a search to find her. But we never know if they connect and have their lunchbox love, because it's an open story.
Okay, very nice open story. Okay. And watch your mic. I think you're getting a little cross something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem.
I'm messing with stuff.
Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah. I remember seeing like this trailer, and I thought it was kind of cute and darling, but I didn't know if I'd probably see it, especially not in the movie theater. I mean, I can't see everything in the theater, but yeah, that sounds good. I like Irfan Khan. He's such an interesting actor. Like, he has like a very brief moment in Jurassic World, whatever, or he has I wouldn't say it's a cameo, but he has a character in Jurassic World that gets got pretty funny, because he's just like this kind of arrogant, billionaire, whatever. He gets got in a pretty funny manner, and I always liked him. He's one of those actors that's below the radar over here stateside, but in India he's like a star. So that's really cool to see him in some stuff that even you like. All right, so
I'm tapped out now.
oh, trust me, you contain multitudes. Just start Googling, because what I'm going to bring up is, I mean, I'm just going for the most obvious ones. I'm so afraid you're going to take them. I mean, this is a little bit of an older one, not really older for us, but I mean, older for maybe say a millennial. But Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I mean, that one, I mean, it did kind of kick off like a whole like trend of well, I mean, you know, Hollywood, they can't have an original idea without trying to copy that. You know, year 2000, God, wow, that long ago. I'm old, but it was really kind of cool because it was you know, one of those movies that introduced us to Ziyi Zhang Ziyi, depending on how you arrange it. I mean, gorgeous. I just remember just being over the moon with her. I might have to dig up an old review. I mean, I probably gushed like about maybe, you know, 200 words about how fine she is, and I mean, she's gorgeous.
A lot of time to that.
Yo, and she can move, and she's athletic, and she's going up against Michelle Yeoh, who, I mean, kind of like black, you know, not only black don't crack and Asians don't either. I mean, she's timeless. Michelle Yeoh can still get it. I mean, look at it, she's athletic, and I mean, this is 17 years ago, but you see Michelle Yeoh now, she looks the same. She's ageless. And look at it, flexible, and you know, there's a lot of action.
You know what?
What? No, I'm just saying. I mean, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't even mean it like that.
You just finished gushing, and
see, you're wrong for that. You're wrong for that.
I didn't say you did.
Anyways, it's a really cool movie. A lot of great stunts. That whole thing with like them on the bamboo, like they're like fighting on top of these like 50 feet high bamboo things and jumping from bamboo to bamboo thing. And it was really, I mean, a lot of wire work, and I think the director was like a big deal too. Oh God, what was his name? See, look at that. See, look at, they're all up in the air, high among the trees and stuff, doing all sorts of crazy stuff. You know, totally Chinese productions, super subtitled. Swords were involved, you know, it's like set in feudal China, I believe, and just like a lot of really good Chow Yun Fat, the homie, he was the homie in the 2000s. So yeah, I mean, a lot of really cool. Actually, yeah, who is it? What's his name? Ang Lee. That's what it is. This is kind of like the movie that really put Ang Lee on the map for American audiences, and he really started working a lot after that, at least on stateside. So Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, oldie but goodie. And yeah, it was a bit of a thing back in the early aughts.
Okay, I think I may have found my last two.
Ah, there you go.
But I can't tell you a whole lot about them because I don't remember all the details.
Well, you know, you do what you can. Do what you can.
But City of God.
How did I miss that? Oh, that is excellent. Oh, I love that movie.
Takes you to the favelas of Rio de Janeiro.
Yes. That favela life. Super Brazilian, super Portuguese. Yes.
Yes, 1970s, drugs, violence, and, you know, I enjoyed the movie, although I don't remember all the details. I remember.
This is Alice Braga. This is the Queen of the South on USA. This is young Alice Braga. This is the movie that gave us Alice Braga, because she's like originally like Brazilian or something, right? Yeah, she's always playing like Latinos.
I don't even watch that show. I haven't watched
Queen
it
of
yet.
the South? Yo, that's your next obsession. That is your next obsession. It's so good.
I move past it all the time, and I just haven't stopped to watch it.
It's really good. Got reviewed for a third season, so it's gonna be around. You can invest in it. You can invest in it.
Yeah, I need to get on top of that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. City of God was great. Oh man, yeah. Well done. All right. So. Yeah, and then, you know, Alice Braga. I wonder what happened to the dude, Fernando Miralles. Like he also became a big deal stateside because of this movie. He went on to direct that movie with Clive Owen and Julianne Moore called Children of Men. You know, the sci-fi-ish one where, like, you know, there's like no more children in the future or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's that's good stuff. Wow. Okay. Yeah. It's Fernando Miralles, yeah. City of God. Oh man, I used to own that, like on DVD or something.
Really?
Yeah, City of God was that flick, because you grow up with them, you like get to know them, you know, you kind of, yeah. Oh man, okay, that's really good. Little Dice. Yeah, that was really good. Okay, as you can tell, I'm buying a little bit of time, but I'm trying to decide between which one I like the best. And I'm going to go with, let's go with, that's good. That's even good too. You know what? I'm going to go with, I guess this qualifies, Chocolat. Remember Chocolat?
Oh, yes, with Johnny Depp?
Yeah, Johnny Depp, Juliette Binoche, and kind of like you, I don't remember a lot of it. I remember it being super charming, super French. Juliette Binoche, I mean, she was already kind of a deal here, but this was kind of a starring vehicle for her. I mean, small chocolatier in a small town in France, Johnny Depp doing his Johnny Depp thing. And Alfred Molina, he has a pretty good role in this too. Oh, Carrie-Anne Moss, was she in this movie? Okay. Actually, I don't want to see red carpet. I want to see actual still. There we go. Yeah, and she's also another case where she's kind of like super charming and into everyone's business and stuff, and just it's just a really charming French film. And falling for Johnny Depp with long hair, got a little artistic ponytail and stuff. And yeah, I just remember being really, really charming. Sinfully delicious. Yeah, sinfully delicious.
I can't even remember the name of my last one. Shoot, I've been racking my brain and oh yes, wait, is that it? Oh, that is it, I think.
All right, what do you got?
The Commitments.
So okay.
In honor of our trip to Ireland. So this is about a group of, were they teenagers?
Yeah, I think so. Or like a boy band or something, yeah.
Yeah, so they're trying to bring soul music to Dublin. And so they created this band and, playing all this music, and then, there's romance involved. So that's my last one.
Okay, no, yeah. I mean, I want to say I did see this like eons. I mean, it came out in '91. I think I either saw this, but I definitely heard of it. So this is, yeah, that's going in the vault. Well done. I'm also gonna go back. I mean, I guess I've been kind of stuck. I don't know if it was a golden age of foreign movies for me, but the early 2000s, early aughts seemed to really have done me right on foreign movies. Maybe I was seeing more foreign movies back when I was younger and more open-minded. I don't know, but I really did like Y Tu Mama Tambien. Yes, this is the one that kind of gave American audiences Alfonso Cuarón, the guy who did Gravity and all these other great Anglo movies. He did a movie before this, which is really good, which is super dark. Also starred your boy Gael Garcia Bernal. Diego Luna, young Diego Luna. Oh my gosh, it was basically a trip of sexual self-discovery. These two guys, two Mexican kids from Mexico City. They go into like the countryside, and then with like this hot chick. They're both kind of like mutually dueling over her, and also trying to figure out their own sexuality and stuff. And there's kind of it's like a road trip through the Mexican countryside. Super artistic. All in Spanish. She's hot, but she's also kind of like artistic and kind of flighty and different. And it's always this weird dynamic. Anytime you have like, it wasn't designed as a love triangle, but it kind of becomes love triangle because you got two guys and one girl, and the girl is extremely hot. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna fight over or try to figure some stuff out. I wouldn't say they take turns with her per se, but they're basically trying to figure out like how they fit not only as friends but also with her and as young men and all sorts of stuff. And there's this whole thing with like Salma Hayek and this pool thing. It's just really funny. And this is the movie that gave us Diego Luna, who he's not like a huge American star per se, but he's a known name. He was in Rogue One, so he's this is the movie that really, and there's like nudity and sex and stuff. And it's very, very indie, foreign, and artistic, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Y Tu Mama Tambien. Salma! Salma! There's this whole thing about Salma Hayek in there, which is pretty funny.
I've not seen it.
It's worth your while. I enjoyed it. All right. So, and yeah. Yes. Okay. So way to power through those foreign movies with us. Now we're at the crux of our show, and where I describe the game and we bring out the shot list. So what is Cinema Draft? It is the fantasy sports version of the movies. Instead of drafting athletes from teams, you're drafting actors from movies. How their movies perform at the North American box office will earn you points for your call sheet of actors while competing against others for fun and prizes. You have to draft 10 actors, no more, no less, who are assigned a dollar value salary. You have a $100K budget to try to draft all 10 actors. You have to draft at least one actor from each of the 3 release types. Wide release, movies on 2,000 screens or more. Limited release, movies on 501 to 1,999 screens. Or platform release, 500 screens and below. Headliners are 2 per film. These are the stars of their films, and their points are worth 40% more. So, for example, Suicide Squad earns 100 million in a weekend. Margot Robbie would get 100 points at 1 point per million per actor in wide release, while Will Smith would get 140 points. Math. All right. It's free to play with over $200 in prizes this week, plus a $25 bonus to the highest scoring call sheet. That is not mine. But guess what? Mine was the highest scoring call sheet last week. So that bonus rolls over into this week. So it's a $50 bonus for the highest scoring call sheet that is not mine. If I win again this week, then it rolls over to the next week and $75 and so on and so forth. I think the highest bonus we've had was $75. So I don't know. See if I can break my own record. Let's see if I can win the next 2 weeks in a row and deny them the cash. Our beta test is open and live, and we're going to get into the shot list. And let me ask you, Kiahnna, so you were off gallivanting around Europe last week. You're now back and rested. So are there any movies that kind of spring to mind as we embark upon this weekend?
The only one is, what is it called? Hitman's Bodyguard.
Yes, Samuel L.
That is, I love Samuel Jackson, and so and what's the other Ryan? Is Ryan?
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. Yes. Wait,
the other Canadian.
Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I can't wait until that comes out.
Deadpool 2, yes, absolutely.
That was, oh gosh, I'm all sidetracked, but I didn't know that I was gonna like that movie so much.
Yeah, we have to bring you back when the next big comic book movie comes out, because I had no idea you're such a Marvel or like a comic book fan, movie fan. We'll have to have you back for a very special episode of the Cine Draft Podcast. Yes. So yes, that's a good place to start. Ryan Reynolds, Hitman's Bodyguard. He's top of my A list. And the A-list these actors you're going to definitely want to look out for on your call sheet. And at $15,500. Affordable. It's probably going to be a down weekend, though. This is a very strange week, only because it's the dead of August. This is traditionally, like, after, say, first weekend, second weekend tops in August, it's a dumping ground for studios. So you're basically seeing the worst of the worst. It gets pretty bad out there. So you're gonna want to get someone from the Hitman's Bodyguard, probably a headliner. You may not even want to OD on it, because it could be a weekend where the returns are pretty flat. Like Hitman's Bodyguard, I actually looked up on HSX. That's the HollywoodStockExchange.com, and they're only predicting it's going to do about maybe 17 million, 18 million. Okay, so it ticked up a little bit. Their opening estimate is about 18.74 million this weekend. I don't hear a lot of buzz for it. I mean, I see the ads. There's not a lot of competition as far as new releases this weekend, but you could do worse. It's most likely it's going to be the top movie this weekend, but it really could only pull in like 13, 14 million. I wouldn't be surprised. So be aware of that. Also, and because it is such a flat weekend, you might want to find some value in some other release types, like platform. This movie right here, Wind River. Man, all right, so check out these per screen averages. Wind River has been doing the damn thing. So on a per screen average, 13,000 on 45 screens last weekend. We're guesstimating it might expand out to another 70 screens. And even if it dips down to another, even if it dips down another 5,000 to like say 8,000 per screen, it's going to be on 70 screens. That's almost 600,000, 560,000. And that's a nice, cheap source of points. So I recommend Elizabeth Olsen, the cheaper of the two headliners, at 6,000 for Wind River. Platform release actually is going to have a lot of competition this week, but I think this could get you the most bang for your buck. We are all about value here, Kiahnna, in the Cine Draft game. Getting the most bang for your buck. Co-starring, these are some values you will want to look out for this weekend. Wolf Warrior. So we have expanded the talent pool this week, Kiahnna. We are now up to 30 films. 30 films. Great for you, sucks for me. Means more salaries need to input, but also offers more potential for variation and avoiding call sheet duplication, which can be an issue among the top players. So we're bringing back Wolf Warrior. We had it 2 weeks ago, and it did okay. Did fine. I was a little nervous though, especially these foreign films, these 3Fs, these foreign focused films. Sometimes they're here one week, gone the next, as evidenced by what happened last weekend with freaking what is that? The Indian movie, the latest Indian movie, which kind of did not show up in time for hand scoring, so everyone got stuck with minimal points. But Wolf Warrior is already like the all-time highest grossing movie in Chinese box office history. It's kind of crazy.
Wow.
If you do a quick deep dive into Wolf Warrior, and look at it, a nice healthy 8,000 per screen average on 52 screens. That's bananas. So it might expand, it might not, but even still, even if it just does what it did last weekend on a few more screens, you're looking at a good 4 or 5 points for fairly cheap. And if you look at its, look at this 679 million in China.
Wow.
That's good for any movie from anywhere.
Wow.
I don't even think Wonder Woman's done all that worldwide. Isn't that crazy? So
wow. And how much did they spend on this movie?
Oh god, that's an excellent question. You know, I mean, it's a Chinese production through and through. We don't have production budget information, but I'm pretty confident they've made their money back.
Wow.
In yen or in dollars, they've made their money back. Yeah. Wow. So Wolf Warrior 2, that you might want to check that out on the lower end of the spectrum of salaries, 5,600 franc Grillo, whatever. And yes, and we know you've been burned by a foreign focused film before. It's okay. You can learn to trust again. You can love again. It's all right. Come on back to a foreign focused film. And then also Girls Trip, old reliable. Girls Trip is still packing them in. What did it do this past weekend? 2,800 per screen average. That is excellent. And they've been, I mean, it's going to make 100 million this weekend. It's going to cross, if it hasn't already by the time this weekend gets here, it will cross 100 million, far outpacing, Rough Night, which I saw, which wasn't that bad, but it's not Girls Trip, and it's excellent. It's probably it's probably going to slink into limited release right now. It's at 2,300 screens, but I'm guesstimating it's going to go down to just a shade under 2,000 screens. If it does that, then this is the only limited movie you want. Definitely stock up on that. This could be a week where I could see people doing some abnormal stuff, like getting more limited release movies and wide release, or stocking up on a platform release. And I don't know, this is going to be a very interesting week as far as call sheet construction goes. But yes, I do anticipate this will be about 1,900, 1,975 on screens. It'll be just under the radar for limited release. And yeah, if it drops down to 2,200 per screen, if it's on 1,975 screens, you're looking at almost 4.5 million, which is good for damn near 12 points. So grab them points. Yes, Regina Hall, 10,200, the cheapest 2 headliners. I'd probably headliner stack this. If not, do your best to do a max stack if you can, because it's going to be hard to get points. We're in the dog days of August. You're going to start seeing winning scores in the mid to low hundreds. It is going to be awful. Next week, Kiahnna, I fear for the state of the industry is going to be awful. There's no big, tentpole wide release coming out next weekend. And anytime you get close, the closer you get to Labor Day, the worse the movies get. I remember going to see a Zac Efron movie Labor Day weekend 3 years ago, and it was like the lowest grossing wide release in history.
Wow.
And I actually paid to see it. That was me. Just me, I'd see it. Yeah, Cutting Room Floor. Skip these losers. Besides the second half of August, which we'd like to skip, you want to skip the Emoji Movie. Come on, fam. You're better than that. Ain't nobody seen this movie. Look what it did last weekend. This movie was terrible. Last weekend, Emoji Movie did like what? Okay, so 6.4 million, but it's about 6.5 points, but it's too wide for its own good. If it stays wide release, avoid it like the plague. I actually think it's going to slip into limited release. They might just cut that sucker in half. But right now, it's in wide release, and just don't do that to yourself. Don't hurt yourself. Detroit, and as my notes say here, even liberal guilt has but only so much box office. So yeah, it's had its little run. People, I'm on record how I felt about Detroit. It felt like racism, torture porn. I'm good. I think people are feeling that too. Look at it. Only less than 1,000 per screen on its third weekend out. It's not even going to make its own budget back, 34 million. I'm not sure if you listened to the podcast where I went over studio economics, but basically, Kiahnna, if you have a movie production budget and you multiply it by 2.78 times, that's how much a movie is going to need to gross in order to recoup its production costs, its prints and advertising, and all the other ancillary, back-end participation, all the ancillary stuff that goes into producing a movie. So on a movie like Detroit, budgeted at $34 million, you would need $94 million worldwide for it to recoup its costs. It ain't gonna make that. Not even on DVD. Not now. Not ever. So, bye bye, Detroit. Bye bye. Yes. So that is the shot list. There we go. And do you have any early thoughts on how you might construct your call sheet? Or are you just gonna wait till Thursday after theater lock and just have at it?
Yeah, that's been my my MO is to wait.
Have you been stalking the group chat? Like, we haven't really ramped up for this week yet, but we tend to kind of kick it up on Wednesdays once the projections come out from Box Office Pro.
I haven't been, because ever since I changed my phone a couple weeks ago, before we left for the trip, I haven't set it up to get the alerts again, because I had it set up to get alerts. So I need to fix that.
Yeah, it's going down. Hey, we're even doing a fantasy football league, a Cinema Draft fantasy football league. I'm not sure if that's your speed, but if you're a fantasy football player, join. Oh, okay, she shut that down. I would like to say that my team is called, of course, Cultural Cul-de-sac.
Oh, I love it.
Cultural Cul-de-sac, damn straight. I need to make some t-shirts. I need to get some t-shirts made for that. Anyways, yes. So this week's over-under poll is going to be The Hitman's Bodyguard. Over-under, we're pegging it at 15 million. You saw the HSX. They think it's going to be 18 million. I think this sucker's going to do like 12 or 13. Ain't nobody checking for this movie. What do you think, Kiahnna? Over-under 15 million for The Hitman's Bodyguard this weekend.
I'm going to go with you and go under for this one.
Yes, and we love you, Sam. You're a fellow Morehouse alum. You're wildly entertaining. Get these motherfucking snakes off the motherfucking plane. I love it, but I'm not feeling the heat. I'm not feeling the buzz. As the WBW would say, I'm not feeling it in the cultural zeitgeist. So, and results from our last poll was Annabelle. The over-under for that was 25 million. 54% picked the over, including myself, and we were right. That sucker blew past our projections by 10 million. It made 35 million last weekend, and definitely was a key component to my call sheet of the week. Yay! All right. So, well, I mean, that's pretty much about it. I mean, we are going to bring this sucker in for a landing. Where can you find Cinema Draft? You go to cinemadraft.co, that is cinemadraft.co, sign up for the free beta on either your desktop or mobile device. Find us on Twitter, Facebook, Medium, Instagram, all that good stuff at either Cinema Draft or at Play Cinema Draft. Our corporate blogs at medium.com/@cinemadraft. Hell, we even have a Pinterest page, a very overlooked but still functioning Pinterest page. So check us out. We have over $200 in prizes this week. The game does start Thursday nights, 10 p.m. Pacific time. Theater lock. This is when we lock in the release types and the theater counts for our game for the weekend. So even if we get additional information after theater lock, it doesn't count. We're locked in with what we got. That occurs at 6 p.m. Pacific time on Thursdays. So always make sure to please double check your call sheets if you submit them early after theater lock to make sure you still have a valid call sheets. The game tends to run until Monday night, usually after about 5:30, 6 p.m., depending on how long it takes me to hand score. We're still working through that, struggling. Pardon our mess. And Kiahnna, what is, plug your ish. What good stuff do you have for us this week?
All right, so Cali Now, and just to remind the audience, it's an international travel and youth development program for kids who are 11 to 14, and we teach them to be their best selves. So on August 26th, we're having our end of program celebration and fundraiser. And this year, in honor of our study and trip to Italy, the theme is La Familia. And so it is a passport event. So when you walk in the door, you get a little folded up passport, and you go through our different passport stations and get your stamps. So through the stations, you see videos of what we've done during the summer sessions, videos and pictures from the trip, We have a fundraising station. We have a station where you can take a selfie, another one where you can post, like, share, do something social media related for us. So we're raising money to send a group of 10 kids next year to possibly Singapore. We're looking at the countries for next year, and Singapore is high on our list right now. But people can buy tickets on our website, which is calinow.org. And I have a flyer.
There we go.
Can you see the flyer?
Yes.
Is it backwards?
Or no, it's forward. No, it's
okay.
You're good. You're good.
Now you see the little fire truck down there. So we have a Captain Davis from Fire Station 91. He teaches our kids CPR every year. So he's going to bring out the fire truck so the kids and kids at heart can get on the fire truck, take pictures, ask questions. We're also going to have someone there from New York Life who's going to do child ID. So they'll take pictures, do fingerprints, so that if, God forbid, anything ever happened to someone's child, that they have some type of ID to be able to track them down. But it's a very fun event. No matter where we go, we always have tacos from Victor's Tacos because we love these people. They are just the sweetest people ever. So
yeah,
we've gone to, yes, they are. Oh, and our sponsor, Harmless Harvest, the best coconut water you could ever have in life. If you love fresh coconut water, it tastes like you're drinking it from a coconut. So go get some Harmless Harvest.
Stay healthy, my friends.
Yes, stay healthy. So we're looking forward to bringing back all the families who've been involved in our program before. We have our first kid who's graduating from high school. It takes a long time for our kids to get there since they start out, they're 11 to 14. So we have to wait a few years for this to happen. So it's going to be a really exciting event and a great opportunity for people who are passionate about youth development and international travel to invest in these kids for next year.
You hear the passion in her voice. You hear how excited she is. From the LA area, August 26th, which sadly I will not be, but I'll be there with you in spirit. Check them out. The La Familia fundraiser event for Cali Now over there. Where's it going to be in LA? What part?
It's in the city of Los Angeles. It's at a place called Magnolia Place, which is a beautiful building that houses other nonprofits. So the Children's Bureau is there. They have a preschool. It's very kid friendly. So wonderful place there.
All right, well, excellent. Well, y'all know what to do. Definitely support Cali Now if you can. Give with both hands. And we appreciate you again. Thanks for coming on the show. Kiahnna, Patton, KP.
Thank you for having me.
We'll have to do it again. Our font of diverse and little known, movie wisdom. I like it. You always come with some interesting movies. I gotta check it out. It's good stuff. Thanks everybody for listening. Subscribe, like on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, wherever you get your fine podcasts. Comment, rate, all sorts of stuff, so more people can find this show and we can keep it going. And you know what to do, everybody. Between now and the next time y'all hear from me, why don't you go see a movie or something?